When news broke there was a mass shooting at the world-renowned Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia.
This is just where it happened behind us. Look right across Bondi. This is a scene you never could have imagined.
We knew two things would be true. One, there would be a lot of people around when bullets started flying. And two, there would also be lots of cameras.
Oh!
That piece of video, which has circulated now around the world, it very possibly represents the moment the course of the entire shooting changed instantly. Two men, two fathers, wrestling for control of a single gun. The man who had been doing the shooting in the black shirt, white pants, his son is also armed at this moment, firing on civilians about 50 meters away. The man in the white shirt, about to put himself in harm's way.
That man is a genuine hero, and I've got no doubt that there are many, many people alive tonight as a result of his bravery.
I'm going to show you what happened, and a warning, the footage you'll see is raw, and the events they depict deeply disturbing. But we can begin by setting the scene and answering the question, why open fire here?
It is Australia's worst mass shooting in nearly 30 years, after 15 people died, including a 10-year-old girl. 40 others remain in hospital.
Bondi Beach is Australia's most famous beach. Millions of people visit a year, tens of thousands a day. And that was most certainly the case on this particular day, December 14th.
The start of Hanukkah and the start of summer in Sydney, Australia was supposed to be a celebration.
This event was called Hanukkah by the Sea. Well over 1,000 people were there, according to local police. It took place near the children's playground, for all ages, billed as a family event. It was also unique because of its time zone. Sydney would be one of the first places on Earth on this day to welcome the light of the menorah, except instead, there was gunfire.
About 6:47 p.m. this evening, police started to receive a number of reports of shots fired at Archer Park.
Archer Park is on the northern half of Bondi Beach. The playground mentioned in the event poster is here, and those celebrating would have been in this grassy area. But this bridge would become the focal point, because it's from here a pair of shooters would eventually open fire.
I can say that we are not looking for a further offender. We are satisfied that there were 2 offenders involved in yesterday's incident.
The shooters, police say, are father and son. The guns used, possibly legally owned, because one of the suspects had 6 guns licensed to him, and police found 6 guns on site and in a subsequent search in a different location. In this verified video footage, there's a point at which we can see the father in the white pants moving down the stairs. This is the bridge he and his son were firing from. Here are the stairs he's walking down towards this set of picnic tables. Now, I've watched a few different angles of what happens next, and by matching and time-stamping these angles right down to the second, by my count, the father spends 2 minutes and 12 seconds at ground level, while his son is firing from the bridge above. At that point, 2 minutes and 12 seconds later, a bystander sneaks up on the father.
Oh!
That man in the white shirt is Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a 43-year-old father of 2 young girls. That's him in hospital with gunshot wounds, with the Premier of New South Wales calling him a real-life hero. Now, the takedown video, even if you've seen it before, what you probably didn't know was that Al-Ahmed was in even more danger than he probably realized. We've synchronized these 2 angles, so they're showing the same moment in time, but from different vantage points. On the left, the gun being wrestled away. But see how quickly the shooter's son realizes that his father's in trouble. He notices, rushes down the stairs, and gives cover fire while his father makes his way back to the bridge. It takes him 40 seconds to get there from the moment he loses his gun, at which point his son waves him up, shuffles to the side, takes a few paces, very quickly ducks down, which we can see taking place from this angle as well. There's the wave, partially obscured by the lamppost. His father immediately makes his way up the stairs, and there's that sidestep shuffle, a few paces, then immediately taking cover. The 2 shooters are under fire themselves. Police have arrived by this point, and We won't show you the most graphic parts of the shootout that follow, but within about 35 seconds of father and son being reunited in their shooting spree on the bridge, the father is hit, killed, we would later learn. His son has almost no time to tend to his father at all because he's taking fire from multiple angles. He's shooting, ducking, but only lasts another couple of minutes. He's shot multiple times from a distance. He collapses, and a minute later, bystanders are actually the first to press into the scene, realizing both shooters are down and signaling to police that it's okay to approach. One of them is even possibly mistaken for a gunman himself. Which is maybe a reminder of how dangerous it can be to approach the scene of an active shooting. But police eventually close in and arrest the lone surviving gunman while shouting at the civilians crowding around them, especially the ones who've decided to get into a fist fight, to just get out.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of anti-Semitism, an act of terrorism on our shores.
At the time I record this, there are at least 15 dead, 16 if you include one of the shooters, and many more injured, including children.
The victims' age ranges are from as young as 10 to 87.
Officials also believe this was a targeted attack against the Jewish community.
I think it's important to say we can't let these evil people divide Australia up. That's what these terrorists want. They want Australians divided and at each other's throats, and we can't let that happen. In fact, we won't let that happen.
But two questions investigators will be asking. What drove the shooters to such violence? And could authorities have seen this coming? There are questions about possible links, even an investigation going back years looking into the shooters and their relationships with known terror groups operating in Australia.
This is a massive, complex, and just beginning investigation. It's just begun, and there are things that tonight we don't have the answers to.
We do know, however, the attack could have been much worse. On top of the guns used to kill and wound dozens of people, police also found 2 improvised explosive devices on site. Both failed to go off.